What's up, guys? Tim in the North, back with another AoE2 ranked match. Today, we are not in Castle Drop Hell. We are going to be experiencing something far different from my opponent's Silk Lips. Depending on how this goes, I might actually do some coverage of this player for a little while. And, probably just arena, and it's interesting, and I really feel like this might be encouraged due to the pudding videos that have recently been popping up from T90 with pudding playing as the Portuguese. And if you've seen those, you probably already know where I'm going, but if you don't, stay tuned. So I mean, some people would say this is probably a bit of salt on my part, but I think you'll see a little bit of where my frustration is here later. But yeah, so we're in arena. Going into this, when this first started, I was like, oh, Portuguese, they're gonna rush to get a castle and try to wear me down with organ guns. So I'm gonna be going with my I'm gonna speed things up just a tad here, just because Dark Age is Dark Age things. But yeah, I'm gonna go with my my build that I've usually been doing for arena, where the last three I try to get up to 22 vills, and the last three go on stone, so I can have my defensive castle ready. As you can see, I'm starting to build my secondary wall, and I'm just gonna keep an eye on the game volume too, to make sure that doesn't get too loud. So yeah, I'm gonna start building my secondary wall, like I said, in preparation for being castle drop, because that's just kind of what happens at this elo. But you'll see my opponent is palisade walling the stone out here rather than taking the stone inside. And that is because they want to make sure they can maximize the amount of stone they're going to get. Dropping a mining camp here, just spamming houses, totally more than what they need, right? And pop cap space, when you think about it. So they're building up. They're building up for something. There are 3 on stone right now for my opponent. There's also 3 on stone for me. So, like I said, I am preparing for more of a defensive front here. That's why there's, like I said, the secondary wall. This gold is in not a bad spot. It's back far enough from where a castle would be dropped, but you know, any immediate pressure would certainly. Oh, that's a lot of high selected there. Any immediate pressure, you know, would probably take me off this gold after the wall's busted. So my opponent's clicking up to Castle Age now. 28 vills, I'm at 30, so I have a little bit of a vill lead. And I'm going to get Castle Age before my opponent, so I feel really good about that. I'm like, oh wow. So I'll be ready for any kind of a castle that comes in. I'm going to keep building this wall, because that's what I've had to do. I actually have another castle drop video coming soon, because that's all I run into in arena. But I see this, and I want to get inside and punish this, because I'm like, you're outside your wall. I tried getting in there, I couldn't get in. I tried getting in again, run over here. 2 monks. 2 monks. So my opponent was ready for that. They wanted to... You'll know why they did this. This is just a full defensive maneuver. So they are playing relics. Excuse me. A very, very defensive castle sitting right by the town center here. My opponent is grabbing relics, like I said, and yeah, they're idling quite a bit. I'm also up to a minute now. 13 on food. They've already amassed over 1,000 gold. I've dropped 2 extra town centers, so I'm trying to boom. I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that I don't have a bunch of pressure in my face. But you see these vills run to the back here. My opponent's also clicked up to Imperial Age at 38 vills. So drop a logging camp down here. Clearly the wood is the same over here as it is here, so obviously something is coming, right? So let's as soon as Imperial Age hits, you see my opponent's going for fortified wall. So you know a stand ground is happening here. My opponent's also opting to bring all the relics that they have back here. So my opponent gets into Imperial Age and I'm just like, what? What? I'm building up out here. I'm like, wow, I gotta start pushing, right? Because I mean they can't have that much. Build the monastery and here comes the Feitorias. So this is like I said, this is where I know I'm gonna catch shit, but it's fine. It's my opinion, whether you like it or not. This is, in my opinion, broken, and we'll get into that in a second here. But I'm trying to build up some kind of military here. I'm also grabbing some specialty techs, trying to broaden my horizon. I forget what that does. To be completely honest with you, I'm terrible with the special techs, but you know, I'm booming at home quite nicely. I have a lot on food to make sure I can, you know, end up spamming cav. I'm finally getting loom because I'm going to start pushing out more here. So, but my opponent is, you know, they just destroyed that log camp to drop a second Feitoria. 39 vills to my 96. And here's the res collected. I am much further ahead in res collected than my opponent, and I, you know, totally get that. I have way more vills, but you know, the kind of res is going to be an issue. So I'm trying to. I did see the walls were fortified, and I wanted to get some mangonels, but I am planning on getting the upgrade as soon as I click up. So going into Imperial Age now. And my opponent is dropping their fourth Feitor. Fun stuff. These houses here are, you know, I've watched some other videos now. I've looked up this player. And I've watched their strategy. They do this because mangonel cuts from the sides are often attempted, I should say. So, opponent's still opting for 39 bills, 4 Feitorias down, and you see the resources are just really starting to climb here. So, from my understanding, res collected from Feitorias, I think, is food, gold, wood, and then stone. I think is the way that they amass in speed. So my opponent is grabbing chemistry. Clearly, the monks are here to deter anything that might be coming and knocking on the gate. I'm grabbing Onager, Cavalier. Like I said, I don't know this is happening. There's a 5th Feitoria coming, and you know, I'm trying to mass whatever I can. I'm like, you know what, usually when this happens, there's a ton of units just being massed. So I'm worried about like 40 like organ guns popping out trying to kill me here. So I'm still not expecting this. Like I said, I can't see anything. I actually don't even know this castle is here. I do know that this is here. Obviously we can see that. So my assumption is just trying to get upgrades for organ guns. So, you know, I don't know what's going on. So that's why I'm taking my time. But my opponent's now dropping their 6th Feitoria. So I still have almost 10,000 more res collected, and that's with me at 116 vills against my opponent's 39. They're at 163 of 165, so they need to put more houses down. Oh, and there's a 7th Feitoria. So I'm you know, preparing for the Great War of of winter here. The Winterfell, just building up everything, and it's you know, not in preparation for what's coming here. So now my opponent is building a secondary wall within their base. They're grabbing some other texts. I'm not really sure what block printing is, but you know, they're grabbing these other texts, even though they don't really have anything. They're just now starting to build stables. But they are at 7 Feitorias, and this is what they are going to pause at. I think it's 20 pop per Feitoria. So, you know, they are at 183 of 175. So I'm trying to treb this down. I have 3 trebs. I'm feeling pretty confident with that, and I'm bringing forth the siege on. Murder Holes is coming in, and also Arquebus. I don't really know what that does, but I'm sure my opponent does. So this is the other component of this game, or strategy, I'll say, is the bombard towers, and that's where I think this becomes completely broken. All right, like I said, I get that people can make the argument or case that, oh, the pop in which it takes up for a Feitoria, it's slower than what Vils would gather, but the thing is infinite is still infinite, right? Like, I don't think people understand how much infinite is, because it's not a fathomable, like, quantity, right? Like, you're just never gonna run out. So you're gonna see here, I'm making solid progress, right? So, you know, there's that, but the part where this becomes unmanageable is going to be through these bombard towers, and that's what I mean by, you know, infinite being too overpowered, is because these bombard towers are just going to absolutely wreck everything, and because you have an unlimited amount of stone, you know, you just don't have a chance. So this civ also gets bombard cannons, so even more fun for them to sit behind their walls and try to win the battle of attrition. So I'm not ready for Cavalier at all. I'm willing to take some losses here to try to protect the trebs with the, you know, the onagers. So that's why I took my shots. So the bombard cannons, you know, I just think Portuguese as a whole is just a very OP civ, right? Because everybody fears the organ guns. Like everybody knows about organ guns. They also get bombard cannons, they get bombard towers, and they also have a unique building that gives them infinite resources to make many of these very powerful units and structures. So yeah, this as you see, it's 2 tiles away. There's no penalty for this, because you're gonna get all the stone you need. So here's another one, a third, and here's a 4th one being built. And, you know, along with the res coming in that's infinite, you can send Cavalier out for days, especially because your res collected is gold, and I mean food and gold in that order in terms of speed. So I can't do much of the walls because the trebs are too slow. Magyars do not get bombard cannons. So he's coming out to snipe the trebs again. I do have, you know, some resistance out here waiting. But yeah, we're already up to 7 7 bombard cannon. So trying to, you know, just stall him here from and protect the Trebs. This is coming forward. I'm trying to see what I can hit here, and my opponent is going to build another like trap door in here. These are going to, yeah, these are fortified walls, and I think they do walls first and then gates, because like I said, there's no penalty for how stone is spent here. So my opponent sees I'm going very heavy into cav, so, you know, because they have infinite resources, they can easily swap into other techs or units with their respective bonuses. I'm trying to just kite whatever I can here. But at this point, believe it or not, at this point, I'm still not thinking about the Feitorias. I'm still just, you know, thinking, oh, this guy's just gonna hang back here with bombard cannons until I spend all my resources. I completely forgot about the Feitorias. So in my mind, my strategy is try to take out as much stone as possible, so my opponent can't keep rebuilding. So I'm just like, I'll really, bro? So clearly they're, you know, he catches crap for this, but you know, in my mind, you know, try to get as much stone spent as possible, so they can't keep walling this up, and then I can deal with the cannons. But like I said, at this point, I'm not even thinking about Feitorias, because this isn't something that I really have seen or, you know, gone up against. But yeah, everything's still climbing. Back home, I have 125. As you see, the wood's starting to go very far, which, you know, as we get into this, you'll see just how much this ends up snowballing. The 1 HP dream for this Treb. I'm now trying to get some halbs out myself, which for a player who's working with limited resources, that's a bit more expensive. So now my opponent is bringing in some halbs, and I'm going to see this, and then I'm going to try to start bringing in some skirms eventually, because this is going to eat through my cav units very fast. I do have a monk out here to try and conserve as many resources as possible and heal units. There's a second one here. I'm also trying to convert, yeah, I'm trying to convert anything that I can as well. So I've done pretty well so far with, you know, managing and maintaining this here. Like I said, in my mind, get him to spend all the stone that he has, and then, you know, I should be able to just walk in. Now we're grabbing siege engine. So more pressure here, and, you know, this is going to be quite damaging for me. So I have some of my own halbs coming forward now. I'm trying to grab the armor for them, because I'm going to need them to last a little bit longer. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to bring these back and then target the gates, so I can chew through as much stone as possible. I'm thinking, oh, he's got to keep repairing, he's got to keep rebuilding, and, like, you know, this is just a matter of time before I can get through. Like I said, Feitoria is not even in my mind. I get trapped in the trap room here. This isn't a good engagement for me, so I'm trying to bring everything back. And while I'm trying to bring everything back, the Onager pops out here. I try to, you know, snipe that as quickly as possible, and then pick off a Vil. So, Bomber Cannon's gonna get this Treb. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, sorry, here it is. Resource on the map. There's still 11,000 gold, 2,521 stone, and obviously almost an impossible amount of wood to cut through. But as you can see, I'm starting to get pretty far on these wood lines here. So units are starting to fall off a little bit for me, and that's largely because I have a really poor matchup here. Again, using the monks to convert what I can. Still trying to get the stone spent. This Treb is overextended, so you know the bomber cannon is going to pick that off. So another Treb down. You have a third one. Where is the... Oh, here it is. Coming forward now. So yeah, you know, when I click, I'm trying to click these front walls so I can try to be out of reach of these. I clicked forward on one of the towers, I think, here by accident. Again, overexposed. This bomber cannon is going to get damage in here. So my opponent is coming forward with another tower over here. I'm trying to repair this, but you know, it's only one bill on there. The opponent's at 200 cap, so it, you know, I get, you know, they can't send a whole bunch of units out there. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to get through, but like, you know, clearly you don't need that many units, right? And when you think about it in some terms, having things on auto makes, you know, less to have to manage and work through. So it's much easier to manage, you know, maybe 20 some military units opposed to like the 50 to 60 that I'm trying to get up to. Because obviously all this is auto eco. These towers are auto damage. You just kind of have to watch your onager, I guess, and the bombard cannons. So I'm trying to break through this part of the wall, and it's getting to the point where I'm like, something's off. Why is my opponent still able to just repair so much? I know they've, you know, already spent stone on a castle. I get a nice push here. I do, obviously I get in there, and I'm seeing this now. Right? So I finally see all of this back here, and I'm just like, what the hell? So I'm trying to micro here and get units up front. I should have clicked and tried to hit this tower. Obviously I have the skirms out now to deal with the halbs. I have 2 more trebs in the queue here. Again, still just trying to work this wall down. I think really the only other strategy that you could have is, I mean, you're splitting valuable resources at this point, though. Is put some trebs over here with some military units, so you'd have to try and split the bombard cannons, I guess. But like I said, everything is just a matter of you know, dealing with the 20 or so military units that keep coming out, and knowing that you can't keep you know, swapping to too many expensive units. So, you know, I feel like it's almost like a Squid Game in which you're trying to practice or get ready for the next wave of military units that are going to come out these gates. So I try to run in here to pick off the bomber cannon. I get it, but my opponent's gonna have 5 more in queue. You know, and you can do, you know, I'm getting damage here. I've gotten 15 eco kills. Obviously I have a lot of deaths because I'm throwing more food units into here than what my opponent is capable of throwing in. But yeah, it's something. We're up to 16 bombard cannons now. So like I said, you can get his pop down, like you can do damage and and kill off the units. But you still got to get through the fortified walls. You got to get the bomber towers down. And by the time you start to get, you know, damage into here, it's already it's already amassed the 20 or some units that are going to come out here. So instead of the pikemen now, it's cavalier, which the skirms aren't going to do jack to. Yeah, up to 800, almost 900 stone now. So like I'm not even making a dent in the stone. I take down a tower, and you know, like I said, at this point, like I know I completely forgot about the Feitoria, but at this point I know something's up in which I'm not going to be able to get through this. This is run out here now, so I don't have as many cav on the field because I swapped to skirms and some halbs, and now I have cav coming in. You know, that's another 200 plus gold unit that's down. Yeah, and there's another treb down. And now my opponent has champions. They're still working with a ton of gold on their end. We got 9 bombard cannons, and like I said, you can run with that many bombard cannons because you don't have to worry about other units. You're not microing anything else because you're just setting your rally point out here for your you know, melee units, and then you can just play with the cannons because, like I said, everything else is auto. Whereas, you know, you see how far I'm into this wood line. This is here. So I guess now that we're at this stage, we can talk more about the Feitorias. So, like I said, I know, you know, someone's gonna watch this and be like, oh, you're just bad at the game. You're an idiot because you think Feitorias are overpowered. And again, like, the concept of infinity, I think just escapes people's minds, right? There's I forget the exact example, right? But like in terms of infinity, right? When you think of infinity, think of like different universes, right? And let's think of something completely outrageous, right? Like people having like 3 eyes and 2 heads, right? Each head has 3 eyes. In the realm of infinity, that can happen an infinite number of times because there's just so much randomness that can happen in the concept of infinity. I know that's not the right example or term that people have used, but like that's the concept of infinity, though, is that something ridiculous can happen an infinite number of times, not once, not twice, but an infinite number of times, because infinite is just so massive. So and now, you know, I know that gets to the debate of, well, now my opponent's telling me not to resign. So and I'm gonna say I don't know what that is because I actually have the taunts turned off. It's distracting sometimes, so I turn them off. So you're gonna see me say I don't know what you're saying. I didn't know what it is until I got to capture rates. But so the next thing is well, it takes up cap space, right? Your pop, and it also is slower than what you would have other builds. And you know, I kind of get that, but eventually efficiency falls off, and this is constantly gathering. So it doesn't matter that these 20 vills gather faster than what a Feitoria does. It's always coming in, everything is. So it's always up for you to expend. And you know, the thing is too with infinite is it doesn't take long for the stone to start paying off. Like, look how much stone my opponent has. It's 1,000 and some. I have 1,000 myself, but I also haven't spent stone on building more walls, these towers, and I've killed like 2 of these already. You know what I mean? So like, this is where I get into like, this is, and I just bought a castle, so now I'm down to 4 something. So this is where I get into like, this is too powerful, right? Like I said, I know I'm gonna catch flack for that, but I really don't care, because like I said, the argument here is this match. It doesn't matter that stone comes in slow, it comes in infinitely. It doesn't matter that gold comes in slow, it comes in infinitely. So, you know, I'm not saying like get rid of the Feitoria, but like let's talk about a way to balance this, right? Because on Arena, like, you clearly don't need more pop space. And I'll get into another strategy later, which my opponent isn't going to use, but it is completely available to them. But, you know, slow down the res collected, maybe limit the number of Feitorias that someone can actually drop, or, you know, I think they put on the Gajaras, the food, or the herdables for the farms, make that have diminishing returns for each consecutive herdable that's in there. Like, make the Feitorias have a more diminished return for each Feitoria that's dropped. Just, you know, like I said, the stone is a very valuable resource, and just being able to have that infinitely is wild. And you see how quick it does come in. So I think it's crazy. I don't think I always hear people say, oh well, it takes up population space, but so do vills. It's not like these guys don't cost me pop space. And like, I know that this isn't very efficient, but like, wood's not my problem right now. I got 28,000 wood. I also have a ton of food, and I can only get to 200 pop space. So, you know, me floating all this wood and food doesn't do anything. It's, you know, I'm getting low on gold, and I only have so much stone. This is fun to you? That's what I said, because I'm just like, this is just like almost like tower defense, right? It's more of like a tower. It's definitely more of like a tower defense game. But, you know, for me, I don't know what 500 is. It didn't come through either. But like, this, I think this is almost 2 hours of playtime. I did see another match in which I'm probably gonna do a coverage on. I think it was 4 hours. I'm not gonna sit there and let it play for like the straight 4 hours. But you know, this is, I had to upload this because this is just like, this is crazy to me. And like, I really want to see, I want to see people be like, no, this is totally balanced. This is a completely balanced civ, having infinite resources, bombard towers, bombard cannons. You know, it's crazy. Like I said, I've seen some videos where they try to undercut through here, and you know, that's why the houses are here. And that's also, it's not up front, it's not back here anymore. Actually, it doesn't have it anymore. There was an onager that was sitting back here earlier in the video. But you know, obviously, you know, I make some progress, but eventually I'm running out of gold. I don't have much left. I think I used up all the gold that was here. I don't even know where this gold is. I've chopped all this wood. This is stone. Oh, the gold's here. So yeah, the gold's almost chewed up. This is available to my opponent, obviously. It's covered by bombard towers. But yeah, let's speed this up, because obviously we know where this is going, right? He's just gonna keep building bombard towers and telling me don't resign, which is him actually saying to resign, because eventually he does say, oh, if you don't have gold, it's not a war, like, you should resign. He does say that eventually. So, like, my opponent knows that this is battle of attrition, and, like, clearly the gold is just more so, like, you know, you should give up now. Like, I think I said to at some point, like, is this, like, does the elo matter this much? Like, I don't know how this is, I don't know how this is fun. Like, the rally point is just set out here, and you're just controlling bombard cannons here. Like, the towers, and I know that rams take less damage from bomber towers, so that's why I did pivot to rams. But I'm almost out. I'm about tapped. Trying to send stuff over here, but they know that I'm gonna send stuff over there, so those are gonna get picked off. Like I said, there's no consequence for. We're up to 32 of these, and like I said, I've killed a handful of towers already. I'm trying to buy stone. I think I'm trying to get another castle out. I think yeah, I'm trying to get another castle out. Oh, I'm trying to get the Magyar hussars out. So I'm gonna get raided here. They are gonna clean this up, fortunately. I'm gonna build some houses here, but obviously I've over chopped here. But in all seriousness, I want to hear someone say that this isn't a balanced approach. And I understand that the game is lost at this point, right? But when the battle was going on here, you know, essentially the game should still be on, in my mind. But like I said, when you're talking about the concept of infinity, I think that is broken. And it's infinity at this speed. It's not like a trickle. This is coming in pretty significantly. And like I said, I get that I have more res collected, but it's food and wood. The Feitoria gives you infinite resources on all resources. So this raid is going to come in here, and this is ultimately what's going to end the game. But I have looked at my opponent's, you know, other games, and I see that on open matches, not so great. So, and let's talk about it like this, right? It's not even, if your argument is this is a balanced approach, okay? If this is even or is equal to other civs, and it's balanced, right? Because that's what balance is. It has to be, for something to be balanced, it has to be equal on both sides. And I get, like, you know, there's minor disparities, and, you know, some civs, you know, aren't as good in some areas. And I you know what? Totally, Magyars are probably not a great closed map civ. Okay, I get that. But for the argument that this is powerful, looking at my opponent's stats, they have a 50% win rate on Arena. And you might think, you know, he's got other matches in which he has a 100% win rate on. And that's because he's played them once or twice. And the Arena has been played 500 times. And looking at open maps, completely destroyed on some of these, like very, very low win rates. So, you know, I get like, oh, they're just better on closed maps, but are they better? Like that's kind of where I'm like, right? But yeah, this is wild. I think I'm gonna cover this player for a little while. Just to see, I just want to see other people's reactions. You know, at some level, I think this is a win. Even though, you know, it's I would say it's more of a moral win for this to go on for almost 2 hours, and just, you know, lost the battle of, you know, attrition at that point. But yeah, it's interesting. I like I said, I think this is this is largely inspired by the you pudding videos. So yeah, like I said, tell me what you think. Like, I want to hear the case for saying that Feitorias are perfectly balanced. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. And, you know, like, give me more than just, oh, you're bad at the game. Because clearly, like, I didn't just get destroyed by bomber cannons. Like, you know, it took an hour and 43 minutes. So there was some resistance. But, you know, also, if you have a strat against this, I'm all ears. Let me hear it, because I really do think that this is just going to blow up and become more common in arena because of like I said, the you pudding videos. But at least you pudding doesn't spam 36 bomber towers. So, but yeah, that's enough for me, guys. Like I said, for now, feel free to like, comment, consider subscribing. Tell me what you think. Catch you all in the next one. Peace.